Hi everybody, and welcome to Soundwell Guitar. My name is Brandon, and today I'm going to be talking about a technique known as alternate picking. Okay, so alternate picking. It's just a fancy term for plucking the string with the pick down and up. On our last video, we did some exercises that involved doing downstrokes with the pick and then some left-hand technique. If you haven't seen that video, I recommend you see that one before you watch this one, because in that video it also explains how we notate our guitar music on paper with the system known as tab. Tab is short for tablature. Last video, I think I inverted the two words and said that tablature was short for tab. My mistake. Fixing it now. Okay. So how do we convey the direction the pick goes on paper? There's two symbols, one for the downstroke, one for the up. Now again, I'll just demonstrate. The technique's very simple. The pick goes down, there's your downstroke, the pick goes up. The reason why somebody would use this technique is because it's more efficient than just all downstrokes or all upstrokes. But anyway, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself here. I did want to first explain how we write this on paper. So here we go. The downstroke looks like a staple. The upstroke looks like a V. Now, like I said, the technique is alternate picking, so we're just going to alternate these pick strokes with using the exercises that I gave you on the last lesson. The first note gets the downstroke, and the second one gets the upstroke. And it just keeps repeating that pattern. I'll do that first exercise using this technique. So when we're doing it in a loop, so you can appreciate the efficiency of such a technique, as opposed to the all downstrokes, which, again, it's not only about efficiency. Listen to what all downstrokes sound like once we start to get up to speed. It's sort of a very bombastic, in-your-face kind of sound, which is great for some tunes, but on an exercise like this, alternating the pick's going to keep the note fresh. And the same goes for all upstrokes too. The note gets stale really quick, and it's not an efficient movement. All right, I'm going to write the alternate picking pattern across all of those exercises. There they are. Down and upstrokes written on all of the exercise using maximum efficiency with the right hand now and coinciding with what the left hand is doing. Okay, we're going to do some new exercises today. They're going to be using the new technique, alternate picking, also the same technique that we discussed in the last lesson, utilizing all four fingers. We're actually going to even move up beyond the first four frets that we did on the last lesson, and we're going to utilize all 6 strings today. Let's start first by the exercise that starts to venture into the other strings. I'm going to start with a fresh new piece of paper that's going to look a little bit different than the last one. It's actually going to have the words TAB on the sides, indicating that it's tablature. Just looks maybe a little fancier than last week's, so I was trying to keep it simple. Okay, we're all set for our next exercise. We're going to now start our new exercise on the big string. This big string is known as the 6th string. We number the strings 1 through 6, starting with the littlest string 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. If you have a hard time remembering this, just remember that the littler the string, the littler the number. Bigger the string, bigger the number. So here we go. Starting on string 6, I'm going to place my first finger on the first fret, and then the second finger, second fret, third finger, third fret, and fourth finger, fourth fret. We're going to repeat this pattern on every string, but I'm going to start first by just writing that pattern on the big string on our piece of paper here so you can see what that looks like when we start using the other lines. Okay, there it is. 1, 2, 3, 4 written on the bottom line. Bottom line represents the 6th string. Okay, we're ready to just go through the rest of the exercise. Notice I am also using the alternate picking system, down, up, which I will also write in the exercise in a minute. We just repeat that same pattern on the next string, the next one, next one, and then the last one right there. There's the whole exercise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 repeats on each string, also using the alternate picking system. I'm going to backtrack for a moment here and talk about another way to practice these exercises. In fact, from now on, this is the way most exercises should be done. They're going to be done with some sense of rhythm. And maybe at first, if you're not really good at rhythm, we're going to at least try to be in the ballpark. The previous exercise that we did was something similar to this one, but only on one string. And then went back down. Now at first learning that, just being able to try to get the notes nice and clear and get that alternate picking in there is an accomplishment in itself. But what we want to do now is do something that gives us some sense of rhythm. We need something to lock on to. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of a metronome before, but if you have, don't worry, I'm not getting into that just yet. We're going to just try to work on our own internal timing. And usually what most people do that helps is they'll tap their foot to the music. Some people have a hard time with that. I recommend that if you do, to not give up on it, because it really is a solid technique for keeping time. It's your compass. There's a lot of different analogies I could use. I could maybe a ruler, tape measure. It's just anything to help us measure the time. And so when we're tapping our foot, here I'm bobbing my head because you can't see my foot, but it's great when you tap your foot because you're getting your body into the rhythm of what you're doing, rather than just it being from your hands and the rest of your body is just rigid as a board. You really want to loosen up and feel the rhythm, because the notes, those are heard, but the rhythm is felt. And so we really feel it when our body's moving with it. Now, we don't have to do anything super crazy like head banging or anything. Some people do feel more comfortable bobbing their head rather than tapping their foot, and that's fine. I've always thought that the tapping of the foot, though, is the best way to go, because then you're actually creating a thump, and it's something also to lock on to. Okay, now we're not going to get super fancy about time signatures or anything like that today, but we're just going to work on structuring our exercise around the foot tapping. Now, the general rule is going to be the downstroke is on the foot tap, and when the foot lifts, we do the upstroke. The foot's lifting, of course, to get ready to do the next foot tap. Now the picking is coinciding with the foot tap. Down, up, down, up. It's the same direction that our foot's moving in. So if you think of the two as being linked together, it makes it a little bit easier. And then we do our exercises using this rhythm. Okay, or okay, so let's move on to our newest exercise, applying this technique. Now this is going to be a little bit more difficult because in this exercise we're actually we're string crossing. We're going from one string to the next, and it's really easy to lose our timing when we do that, because the exercise could sound like this if we're not keeping time. So there's really no structure, no consistency in between each note. Some were closer together than others, and we seem to kind of rush them and then sort of take a pause before we go to the next string. Our foot tapping should help remedy this, and it should sound like this. That might be fast for some when they're first starting out. There's no shame in doing it even slower. So I'm making this really decisive move to lift my foot. I know you can't see my foot, so I'm bobbing my head. So that's pretty even. And eventually, start increasing your speed. Okay, let's move on to the next exercise. This next exercise involves moving this way up the neck, and we're going to keep it on one string. But instead of going this way, which the other exercise did, we'll move up this way. Now that also might look a little bit different on the paper because the numbers are going to start to get larger. 5, 6, 7, and so on. I'm going to write that down. Okay, so you can see on our tab paper, I've written the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have a dash that goes to a 5. And there it is, the 5th fret. Now there's a specific finger that we want to use for that, and it could be kind of confusing because before fret 1 was finger 1, fret 2 was finger 2, and so on. But now we've got 5. Well, we don't have a 5 finger. It's just a 5th fret. So remember, the numbers that we've been using on there so far are frets, not fingers. So now we're going to have to start writing underneath these exercises what fingers would be used. It can get a little confusing at first because now you're looking at 2 sets of numbers. But just remember, the numbers that are written right on the line are the frets. But underneath will be the fingers. So I'm going to write on there and show you which finger we're going to use when we shift up from the 4 to the 5. You see that? It's the 4. We're reusing the 4 after it's already played fret 1. It shifts up. There's a little dash there, just kind of a visual to show you that the hand's moving up. And it starts like this. Okay? What we're going to do after that then is go back down. But we're not shifting down. I just went down 3, 2, 1. And I'm going to write that in the tab too. There it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 5, 4, 3, 2. Now that was the frets. Fingerings going 1, 2, 3, 4. Shift with the 4. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, there's more to the exercise now. We need to shift up again, but we've left off on our first finger. Let's now use the first finger to shift us up to the 3rd fret and continue that same pattern, sounding like this. Shift with the 4, back down. Now I'm on my 1. 1 shifts up. I'll write that one down too. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it just keeps repeating that. 4th finger shifts up again. 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 3, 2, 1. I hope that's not going too fast for you. I think I've explained it pretty clearly. But I'm going to write a few more reps of that pattern on there, showing you how it moves up the neck. It just keeps repeating that same thing. So there's your new exercise on one string moving up the neck. I ran out of room on the paper. I think by the time you get to the end of that exercise where it says etc., that you understand the pattern just keeps repeating up the neck. It's really up to you how far up the neck you want to bring this. And so on. Just keeps going up the neck. Also, it doesn't have to be played on just this string. You could start it on the second string. Do it on the big string. I think you get the idea. Okay, also don't forget to practice this while tapping your foot. Don't forget the alternate picking either. Okay, I hope that this lesson today was helpful, and I'll see you next time.